Hey everyone, how you doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I have no idea what time it is for you guys. How you doing? We have a Splatoon 3 Direct today. We are about, let's see, we have the timer here. It is 53 minutes, and well, let's just say 54 minutes away based on Nintendo's countdown timer that we have over here. So you can see right here. Nintendo's little countdown timer right here, 53 minutes and 47 seconds, etc., etc. So we are getting there, and it's going to be a really interesting morning because Splatoon 3 is in a very, very interesting position. It is getting the same treatment Splatoon 2 got. Now, you guys might not know the treatment Splatoon 2 got because a lot of people didn't play Splatoon 1. And let's just be honest. Splatoon 1 ended up performing very, very well. I think it sold like 4.5, 5 million copies, which on Wii U, that's like half the audience. So that actually was a really, really good performing Wii U game. And Nintendo thought so as well, which is why they made the sequel. But at the time when Splatoon 2 was coming out in 2017, the biggest criticism of Splatoon 2 is it doesn't look any different than Splatoon 1. Why are we not just getting a Splatoon 1 port with brand new DLC instead? Why can't Splatoon 2 just be DLC to Splatoon 1 and port it over just like you did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and give it DLC like you've now just done with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? I mean, let's be honest, the type of DLC they are doing for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is an entire Mario Kart game. Okay, I mean, let's just be real. There was already 48 tracks in Mario Kart, and that's after they added DLC already once to the game, and then they added an entire game's worth of DLC all over again. So this isn't without merit to say, why couldn't Splatoon 2 just be DLC to Splatoon 1? And that was a huge criticism of Splatoon 2 back in 2017. People just didn't think it needed to exist because it looks too similar to Splatoon 1. Now, Splatoon 2 launched with more content than Splatoon 1 had when Splatoon 1 ended. So, yeah, content-wise, it was way fuller than Splatoon 1. And I'm not even talking about Splatoon 1 at launch. I was talking about Splatoon 1 at the end of its life. So after they've added all the content to Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2 at launch had more content than Splatoon 1 at the end. So people started to slowly be, okay, well, at least there's a lot of content, and at least they added a new mode, so we can be cool with this. What I find interesting in looking at a franchise like Splatoon 2, because Splatoon 3 is getting the same criticisms. Why isn't Splatoon 3 just another DLC pack for Splatoon 2? Why do we need Splatoon 3? Why does this exist? It doesn't look any better than the second game. They just keep, they added an old map back in, and they got the old weapons in. Never mind, they've added new weapons, new maps, and made changes to old modes, and have teased a few things for story mode. Never mind that they've actually teased new things. Why isn't it just DLC for Splatoon 2? And I find this an interesting concept because today's Direct is the Direct that proves why Splatoon 3 is not DLC. But also, I'm not so sure that no matter what they show today, that criticism is going to go away. They showed a ton of content for Splatoon 2 in 2017 before the game came out, and guess what? The criticism didn't go away. Splatoon 2 was supposed to be DLC to Splatoon 1. Splatoon 2 is a cash grab, blah, blah, blah. 15 million in sales later, maybe you can argue it was a cash grab, and if it was, it really was a cash grab that was super successful. Splatoon 2 worked. For better or worse, it worked. People bought it. People loved it. People enjoyed it, and it's one of Nintendo's most popular IPs today. So why does Splatoon 3 exist? Well, first and foremost, it exists because Splatoon is popular. Hey, who knew, everyone? Splatoon is popular? Oh, come on. We can get a bit more enthusiastic than that. Come on, get those cheers. Fine. Again, why does Splatoon 3 exist? Because Splatoon is popular! It's a bit better. Come on now. Splatoon is popular. There we go. Whoa, ho, ho. Oh, yes. Hoo. All right, and stop. Come on now. Stop. So, yes, we're getting Splatoon 3 because Splatoon is popular. Just like we're going to get Breath of the Wild 2 because Zelda is popular. Just like we're going to get a new Mario game because Mario is popular. Why are we getting Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet? Because Pokemon is popular. We're going to keep getting games and IPs that are popular because they sell. And companies exist to make money. So why does Splatoon 3 exist? Because it's going to make money. Okay? That's why any video game exists. Nintendo does not release a video game with the intent of not making money. If they know ahead of time a video game is going to lose money, they won't release it. There's that rumored, fabled sequel, though, 1-2 Switch called Everybody's 1-2 Switch or something like that supposedly isn't releasing because it bombed that hard with their quality testers. They hated it. Nobody liked it. Then they brought it to a test group, and nobody liked it. And still to this day, that game isn't even announced. Because Nintendo's afraid if they release it, it's going to lose money. Now, you might go, well, they already have the sunk cost, so why not release it and recoup some money? Well, you also don't want to hurt the reputation of your company by releasing a game that is not of the quality standards that fans have grown accustomed to. And it's funny because some people will argue, well, Nintendo's got some rush games. Look at their sports game. Fine, but their sports games have the reputation they have. The rest of their games really don't. Kirby's, Forgotten Land. Hey, really well reviewed, really good game. Metroid Dread, really well reviewed, really good game. Pokemon Legends Arceus, really well reviewed, really good game. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, one of the highest reviewed games of the year. Really well reviewed, really good game. So Nintendo has a little bit more to worry about than just the money if they're going to release something that's going to lose money that they already spent. So we have to be more understanding of why Splatoon 3 is coming out. It is to make money. But also, the complaints about Splatoon 3 to date, well, every criticism anyone has on an individual level is valid. Any criticism that you have for a video game is always valid to you. I want to be clear. There's no such thing as invalid criticism on a personal level. When people are critical of my channel, that criticism applies to you. And because of that, that criticism isn't untrue. Oh man, I'm tired of Nintendo writing clickbaits too much. That criticism applies to you. Yes, you're being critical of me, but that criticism is a personal feeling. Okay? So when you play a video game and you got criticisms against it, and other people might not agree with your criticisms, it doesn't make your criticism less valid for you. So none of the criticisms lobbied towards Splatoon 3 are invalid. But I'm just proposing that the overall community that plays Splatoon doesn't agree and just doesn't care. Because Splatoon 3 is more Splatoon. Let that sink in. Splatoon 3 is more Splatoon. And that's what most people playing Splatoon want. They want more. There's going to be a brand new story campaign. It's taking place in a brand new city and a brand new area called the Splatlands. There's going to be a bunch of brand new maps. There'll probably be a bunch of brand new gameplay modes we haven't seen yet. Even the old modes, it looks like they have added things to it. They've added brand new abilities. Did people forget that we now have a new movement ability where we could basically do the Monster Hunter Rise thing, the little bug mode where like you could zoom your bug and then kind of zip around, sort of like a hook shot, a mini hook shot from Zelda? Well, they added that to Splatoon 3. We have the ability to basically Spider-Man our way to a new area. Whoop! shoot the web and fly straight to it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty interesting. It's going to fundamentally change the way Splatoon 3 is played because it's a new way to move around the map. The bottom line is they are doing a lot of new, and they've shown us a ton of new. What people are getting really weirded out about is that visually, they're not so sure that Splatoon 3 looks better than Splatoon 2. And I find that to be a funny way to measure video games. Because if we're going to measure games based off of visuals, then I think we're playing games for the wrong reason. One, Splatoon 3 is better visually than Splatoon 2, but it's not like going to be some major next generation leap. Some people expect it to be because they feel like Splatoon 2 was made for Wii U, obviously. Was it? How would you know? Nintendo was developing games for Switch for years. So how do you know Splatoon 2 was developed for Wii U first? You don't. That is a pretty big assumption that you have no actual proof of. The bottom line is, Splatoon 3 is an online multiplayer game. You know what other game I could tell you that has massive online and tons of multiplayer and a bunch of interest that fundamentally doesn't look visually a ton better from the prior one? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Remember the criticisms around that game heading into launch? Oh man, this is just Super Smash Bros. Wii U with more characters. Same game. LOL. No, the game came out, and data mining showed that no, it wasn't the same game. They redid code. They redid a bunch. Obviously, at this point, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is one of the best. Well, it is the best-selling fighting game of all time, and one of the most popular games to release this generation. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is fundamentally a significantly different game than Super Smash Bros. Wii U in terms of all of the core mechanics and the core, gameplay elements and everything. But the criticisms were the same because it visually looked like Super Smash Bros. Wii U, that they're being lazy, they're being dumb, this game shouldn't exist, blah, 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 blah. And Splatoon 3 is getting that treatment right now because it visually looks like a Splatoon game. We got a rip on it. Oh, they should have waited for the next generation so it could be even more visually impressive. I don't know anybody. Like, can I get a show of hands in the chat? How many people play Splatoon because it's visually impressive? I can't remember a time that I've ever thought about playing Splatoon because, man, it's pretty. That's a pretty game. I literally can't remember a single moment that I've turned on any multiplayer game because, man, it's pretty. I played the last Call of Duty game for a little while. I don't remember playing it because, man, the visuals are so amazing. And sure, the visuals can be pretty, amazing in a Call of Duty game. But I don't remember turning on the multiplayer thinking, man, this game looks good. This is why I want to play. I don't remember turning on Halo Infinite last year and going, man, you know what? This game looks pretty. That's why I want to play. I don't remember turning on Fall Guys last night and thinking, man, Fall Guys looks pretty. That's why I want to play. I can't remember the last time I played a multiplayer game, online matches, because I thought the game looked pretty. Now, there are times that I will play games just because I want to escape reality and hop into a world. And sometimes part of the joy of that world is being able to just sit back for a moment, let the music roll over your ears from the overworld, and just kind of take in the world. Take in that beauty shot, right? That Breath of the Wild running out on the cliff, showing the world shot. Now, some people would argue that that shot's not impressive to this day, and that's fine. But there are times that sometimes you'll play a video game just because you want to take in the beauty for a moment. Now, the beauty's not going to keep me playing. A game can be beautiful, but if everything else about it sucks, I'm not going to play it. But there are times that you'll do this, or at least that I do this. So, when I sit there and think between how much I enjoy doing that in a single player experience versus multiplayer, I don't think I've ever done that in a multiplayer game. I don't think I've ever sat back, took in a vista in multiplayer and went, damn, this looks good. Because what matters in multiplayer is smooth gameplay, 60 FPS, constant 60 FPS, and obviously really, really fun core mechanics. Don't really care what it looks like visually. I don't care if it looks like Splatoon. I don't care if it looks like Call of Duty. I don't care if it looks like Fortnite. I don't care what it looks like. Because that's not why I play multiplayer games. I play them because the core gameplay is fun and competitive, and it's fun to play with friends. It's fun to play solo against randoms. It's just fun to play. So, this notion that Splatoon 3 should just be DLC, I find to be quite hilarious. Especially when this game is going to have not only probably more content at launch, or at least comparable content to Splatoon 2 today. Like the content Splatoon 2 has today compared to Splatoon 3 at launch. Splatoon 3 is going to have at least as much, if not more, at launch. But not only do I find that to be interesting, an interesting point to bring up, the people complaining are either going to play anyways or we're never going to play. I sometimes wonder, and this doesn't apply to everyone, every Nintendo game that comes out seems to get attacked. Xenoblade seems to be, well, I don't know, Xenoblade's been attacked too, actually. I've seen people attacking Xenoblade because they don't think it looks very good. Like, man, dude, that game looks ugly. Cool, have you played it? No, but it looks ugly. Okay. So, you got anything else to say? No, it looks ugly. What about the gameplay? No, it looks ugly. Okay. Well, do you know anything about the story? Doesn't matter, the game looks ugly. Oh, well, can we get back to the gameplay? I watched one video, and they said that it drops frames during some of the larger fights, so, bad game. That's cool. What do you play? Oh, dude, I love Final Fantasy. Oh, well, Final Fantasy drops frames during some of its gameplay. Psh, no, it doesn't. Oh, well, maybe you should go watch the Digital Foundry analysis of the last Final Fantasy game. No. You're just lying. Oh, okay. Cool. What else do you like to play? Oh man, I like playing I like playing warrior games. Oh, like Dynasty Warriors? Yeah, man. I played One Piece Warriors. Dude, those games are great. Oh, well, those drop frames all the time. No, they don't. All right. Well, they do. But we'll just pretend they don't because you like those games. And that ends up happening a lot. And this isn't just with Nintendo games, but obviously since I'm a Nintendo YouTuber, this is the comments I see a lot are about Nintendo games. It's always something. Well, just wait until Breath of the Wild 2 starts ramping up its advertising, and we all get really excited. But the detractors come out of the woodwork and start talking about how it doesn't look very good. It looks last gen. It looks like it's got frame rate dips. It looks like it's got problems, and it looks exactly the same as Breath of the Wild. This should have just been DLC. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So I just retort that sometimes if someone lobbies criticism at a game, and that criticism is completely valid for that individual person, that maybe if we don't agree, that we try to let it go. Because their criticism is going to be valid to them no matter what you say, and your disagreement with that criticism is going to be valid to you no matter what you say. In the end, Splatoon 3 is likely going to sell over 10 million copies. There's going to be millions of people playing it, millions of people loving it. I think we're going to be good. So, top of the hour, we got a Splatoon 3 Direct. 30 minutes of wild gameplay and goodness and doing those super, what's the word for it? Super memeable? I don't know. Those really awkward research lab skits, right? We know there's going to be some research lab skits. They've been doing them this whole time. So there's probably going to be a research lab skit, several of them. And I find them to be quite hilarious because clearly the people behind Splatoon, the development team, are the ones that come up with those skits, and they think they're hilarious. I mean, do you guys remember the one time when during E3 or whatever, employees in Japan were all put on those little squid hats, and they were in a break room, and they all started diving around the break room like they're squids? You guys remember? There's actually a photo of it out there somewhere. I think a little video clip too. It was hilarious because the staff that makes Splatoon love Splatoon. They love that it's such a silly concept. They love how, 90s theme it goes with a lot of its art direction, its music. They just love the franchise because it's this silly, fun, out there IP that's massively popular in the midst of being an unrealistic non-shooter. It's really fun, and this team has a lot of fun with it, and they clearly think that these research lab skits are hilarious. And maybe they are to some people. I usually find them to be pretty corny, pretty okay. My grandma's trying to make a funny. I won't make fun of it. It's like a grandparent trying to make something that they think is hilarious, and you just look at it and go, wow. But you know what? It's your grandparent, so you're gonna throw a smile on anyways and be happy about it. And that's what I kind of feel like about these squid research lab skits that we're about to get today. So, what do you guys think? What are your guys' thoughts? To have my little spiel here to start the stream. Hey man, I was able to take about a half hour of the pre-show with that spiel, so good job, Nate. I didn't know actually how long it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a 5-minute thing, but it turned out to be a pretty meaty thing, I said. J Biggs, a.k.a. Big JNYC, says, with that said, both Splatoon games look really good. Why mess up the aesthetic like Smash Brothers? Sometimes you just leave what works. As I said, a Splatoon game's going to look like a Splatoon game. Zelda's going to look like Zelda. Mario's going to look like Mario. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, imagine that we complain about Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope because Mario plus Rabbids looks like a Mario plus Rabbids game. I mean, that's like why do we have... People aren't saying that about that game. Yet. Just wait. It'll come. My favorite Splatoon meme is the guy listening to Splatoon 2 theme, and then all the other guys push him away and start playing the Splatoon 3. That's pretty good, yeah. There's a lot of good Splatoon memes out there. The Squid Research Lab stuff is hilarious. Dude, they've been doing that. When did they first do the first Squid what was it with Splatoon 1? I'm trying to remember because Splatoon 1 was so long ago. Let's see here. You guys have any specific things you want to ask or talk about? Any maybe favorite Splatoon memories? Favorite Splatoon story moments? Do we need to recap the story in Splatoon so far? Because how many of you even know the story? I have no idea. Because I can go look up a summary quick of the story so far. Because the story spans not only the single player, but the multiplayer as well. Those Splatfest, believe it or not, some of them have significant meaning for the story. Have I played Splatoon? Yeah, I owned it on Wii U, and I owned Splatoon 2. I have a bunch of live streams, I think, that are still up on this channel from 2018. White ink is gross. Why? Why is white ink any grosser than any other ink? Just because there are things in this world that are white. There's things that come out that are black. There are ink of all colors in this world. So I'm confused. Why? Maybe get your mind out of the gutter. Logan LeBlanc. So my family got out of Nintendo for a bit because of financials, but Nintendo did a road trip tour, and I played Splatoon 2, my first Switch game, and that's the reason I got a Switch. Nice. A story recap would be sick. Okay. We can do a story recap. It's been a long while since we've gotten a system update, even for stability. I feel like something's coming. Hasn't been that long. The last, hold on. Hold on. Pretty sure there was one like just last month. I'm going to the official support page here. All right, so the last system update was June 13th. So, I mean, not that long ago. A couple months almost, I guess. Or something like that. No, wait, no. Hold on. Sorry, July 25th. July 25th, they released a system update. Now, the system update didn't do anything. It just updated the list of banned words. But July 25th, they updated. They call this a rebootless update. So what that means is you don't need to reboot your Switch. So it just kind of patched it in. So they patched in updates to the list of banned words. They also did something similar on June 27th as well. So they're running the same update from June 13th, but that update has had 2 patches since then to update the list of banned words. So that's why I kept thinking, I'm pretty sure they've had updates since June 13th. And they did. They just weren't updates that required you to reboot your system. 27 minutes away. Nice. Let me see here. Have your kids played Splatoon? Yes, they have. All right. Is anyone okay? So let's bring up a summary. Bring up a summary of the story. Hold on. I think there's a. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's see how well this summary goes. How well this summary does it. Let's take a look at this together. Let me full screen that here. All right. Let's see how well this summary does it. All right. Splatoon lore may seem like a bundle of cute jokes and silly culture on the surface, but there's more to learn when you dive deep. With Splatoon 3 on the horizon, fans are diving back into the series to learn everything they can about the lore. The city of Inkopolis is surprisingly dense with history and knowledge, something that can be hard to tell at first glance. The world of Splatoon and the species that inhabit it have complex relationships that evolve as the story progresses. If you're looking for a refresher before the 3rd game comes out, here's the lore of the Splatoon series so far. Splatoon lore has Inklings versus Octarians. Splatoon lore primarily focuses on the ongoing conflict between the Inklings and a race of squid-human hybrids and the Octarians, a separate species of octopus-esque people. Both groups developed after global warming caused humans to go extinct and sea creatures evolved to take their place. The plot of the game usually involves Octarians attempting to attack an Inkling civilization and the player character putting a stop to it. Though usually portrayed as evil, Splatoon lore explains that Octarians are not inherently bad and used to live peacefully alongside Inklings. The two species developed animosity during the Great Turf War, a conflict that happened around a century before the events of the first game. The war for land ended in the Inklings' favor, and the Octarians were forced to live elsewhere. The gameplay of Splatoon is explained as a sport commemorating the Inklings' success in the Great Turf War. Alright, so Splatoon games expanded the lore into the future. Splatoon's main story kicks off with the mysterious theft of a zapfish, a species of electrically charged catfish that power the city of Inkopolis. The player's character is called in to investigate the matter at the direction of Callie and Marie, a pair of music idols turned new news broadcasters. The player, known as Agent 3, is sent into Octo Valley to rescue the great zapfish and return it to Inkopolis. At the end of the game, the player character restores order and electricity to the Inkling City. Splatoon 2's lore picks up right after the first game. In the final Splatfest in Splatoon 1, Players voted between which squid sister they preferred in the final Splatfest competition. Fans chose Marie, which resulted in Callie playing an antagonistic role in the second game. Octarian leader DJ Octavio kidnapped and brainwashed her into becoming an Octarian minion. Just what I said, the multiplayer can influence the story. Splatoon 2 player character codename Agent 4 once again embarks on a mission to set things right. Donning the iconic hero suit, the player travels to rescue another stolen Great Zapfish and save Callie from the clutches of the evil Octarian leader in a very flashy boss fight. Dude, the final boss fight in Splatoon 2 was amazing. Splatoon 3 appears to have a totally different vibe than the previous title. It takes place 1.5 years after the Splatocalypse in a city called Splatsville. It's set away from Megapolis, which Splatoon 3 has a different look than the previous. And yeah, so obviously we also know the multiplayer played a role in something to do with the story of this game. We just don't know yet because there was a final Splatfest that determined something for the story. But again, we don't know because we don't know the story of Splatoon 3 yet. So that's like a very, very bare bones breakdown just to kind of catch you up. There's a lot more depth to it, as I said, the characters and all that, everyone evolving throughout the years that the game's been out, the relationships evolving. But again, that's just a really bare bones, basic rundown you need to understand for the story for this game. But there's more. Like, they didn't go over the story from the DLC of Splatoon 2 as an example, because that fundamentally could have changed the future. That DLC. But we'll see with Splatoon 3. Man, I can't believe we're 23 minutes away. 23 minutes away from Splatoon 3, baby. Ah! Who's excited? I know I am, as I'm sitting here checking my phone. I'm actually just checking out my niece. My niece. Because my parents are there. My parents are flying out on vacation today. So they're out in Minnesota at my sister's house. They spent the night. They fly out today. The niece. She looks cute. She's so cute. Little baby. Little baby. I'm an uncle. Damn. Officially an uncle. Whole family's hyped here. Whoop, whoop. What do you got? Like 3 people over there along? That sounds pretty. That's pretty nice. I got nobody in this room, so hype train. Uncle gang. Let's see here. That's why they call you Nathaniel Uncle Jax. Uncle Jax. What? This isn't a game of jacks. We're not bouncing balls and picking up jacks. What's going on? Does anyone even remember the game of jacks anymore? I'll bet my kids know it. The original purpose of a Super Bowl. I'm going to be an uncle in roughly a week as well. First time uncle here. Yep. First time uncle for me too. Sort of. Yulia's sisters have kids, but they gave them all up for adoption. I should say they were taken away for adoption. So, while technically I would be an uncle to those kids, I'm not, because they have new families. So, I would love to have a fully realized single player version of Splatoon. Me personally, I'm over with these online only focus games. I am so confused, J Biggs, aka Big JNYC. I'm so confused. Why are we asking for a multiplayer IP to no longer be multiplayer? Does Nintendo not provide you enough single player games? Didn't we just get Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Wasn't that a thing we just got? Didn't we just get Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes? Didn't we also get Triangle Strategy this year? Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Sure, we got some multiplayer games along the way, Switch Sports and Mario Strikers and Splatoon 3 coming. But doesn't that just mean Nintendo has a nice mix of different games? I'm really confused why we would want a primarily multiplayer IP to not be multiplayer anymore. Just play the single player games. There's so many of them. Nintendo gives us so many single player games. We have Bayonetta 3 coming out completely single player. It's so weird. It's so weird. And you're wrong with the initial comment anyway. I'm over with these online only focused games. Well, Splatoon isn't online only, in case you weren't aware. There's literally an entire story mode that's completely single player, and you can play it offline. So technically, your original statement isn't even correct. But even if it was, let's just say it was. Why do we force or want to force IPs that are built for multiplayer to not be I don't agree with. As if we don't already get a ton of single player games. Heck, the game of the year this year is probably going to be an Elden Ring, a single player game. You know, game of the year for Nintendo this year is probably going to be Xenoblade 3, a single player game. Game of the year next year has a high chance of potentially being Breath of the Wild 2, a single player game. There's so many single player games. The only reason multiplayer games get more mentions is because single player games don't stay relevant over long periods of time because there's not continual updates, continual reasons to play. Whereas multiplayer games get continual updates and continual content patches, and people, don't just stop playing it after a few months. They play it for a year, 2 years at a time. So that's why those stay in the news. But single player games are always coming out. Heck, Sony, God of War Ragnarok this year could be runner up for Game of the Year, and that's a single player game. There's so many single player games. Let's see here. If people want single player, go play Mario, Zelda, Kirby, many more. None of those games did anything for me. I like the Splatoon world, and I want to see more of that. When I say it was online focused, the focus is only, and the single player seems more like an afterthought. Whoa. You find the single player to be an afterthought in Splatoon? I highly disagree. I think Splatoon has an extremely well done single player mode. I think the single player in Splatoon and Splatoon 2 is very well done. Very well done. The boss fights in that game are amazing. But, you're going to do what you're going to do. Can't change how you think. You think what you think. None of those games did anything for you, though. I get that you like the Splatoon world. There was more. They added more with the Octo expansion, by the way. They added more single player content with the Octo expansion. Like, I find it interesting that this conversation that because you like the Splatoon world, you think they should completely spin off or cater the franchise directly to your desires. I find that an interesting take. One, you're complimenting the world, but two, you want the game to fundamentally change or have a spin-off change that suits your desires because you personally aren't satisfied with the other single-player experiences out there. Which I think brings up a broader complaint of why do other single-player games not appeal to you, but a multiplayer game does, but you don't actually like the core concept of the game. You'd rather it be something different. Like, why are these other single player experiences not clicking for you? That's all. I'm just wondering why they don't click for you. By the way, I hope you don't feel like I'm attacking you. I'm just curious. Like, why do you think? Why do we want an IP to be something it's not, just to satisfy a need you're not being satisfied with anyways? Because it sounds like you're not really enjoying the single player in this game either. So, do you maybe not enjoy single player games? If all these other single player games don't appeal to you, maybe you don't like single player games. Like, oh, I'm tired of multiplayer, but you're not enjoying the single player either. Now, I also have something to say that this doesn't just apply to you. This might not apply to you at all, but this does apply to some people. There are some people that are scared to admit that video games just don't appeal to them anymore. They'll keep buying tons and tons of games, trying to get the feeling they got when they were younger. They'll buy a bunch of multiplayer games, trying to get the feeling they got playing Halo 2, trying to get the feeling they got playing GoldenEye, trying to get the feeling they got playing Time Splitters, or, any number of multiplayer games back in the day. Mario Kart, SNES or whatever. Like, they'll keep buying games, trying to recapture that feeling they had when they were younger. And then when they're playing single player games, oh man, this single player game isn't as fun, or this isn't as good, or this isn't this. And they'll keep buying all these single player. Oh, I gotta go buy Elden Ring because everyone's saying this game of the year. And then you play it and you're like, oh, this just isn't clicking for me. And some people get stuck in this rut where they're buying dozens, if not hundreds, maybe thousands of games per generation, because they say, fine, people are saying go to indie games. Well, then I'll go to indie games. And this isn't clicking for me either. And the reality of the situation is something they don't want to self-admit. And that's that they simply just don't enjoy video games the way they once did. They grew up, their tastes have changed. And now you need to find something else that you enjoy. And I'm not saying this applies to you, but I see this apply to a lot of people who get really disappointed by pretty much every game they play. And it basically comes down to, in my opinion anyways, that you just no longer enjoy video games. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by the way. I'll give you a really strange example. I love cheese. I love burgers. But I did not like when cheese was put on top of a burger. Cheeseburgers, when I was younger, grossed me out. I'd take a bite into it, and it just felt like two things that don't go together. You don't put beef and cheese together. It's also why I didn't like when my parents tried to put hamburger into my mac and cheese. Didn't like it. It was gross tasting to me. I also didn't like all of those hamburger helpers that had cheese sauce involved with the meat. It was gross. All of it was gross. Like, makes me want to puke disgusting. Absolutely, utterly disgusting. You do not put cheese on beef. It grossed me the hell out. It was just disgusting. The texture, the flavor, nothing about it worked. Hated it, but I like cheese and I like hamburger, just not together. So then I stopped attempting to eat cheese and meat together like that. Just stopped. And it had been about 5 years since the last time I tried something. And I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about, but this is back when I was younger. And then I was dating this girl named Lindsay back in high school. And she played softball. And I traveled with her parents to a softball tournament. And on the way back from that softball tournament, it was about like 2.5 hours away or something, they stopped at McDonald's late night because it was pretty late because, the tournament is what it is. It's 2 hours away. So, it's like 9 o'clock at night. And, I didn't have any more money on me. I ran out of money during the day. So they offered to get me some food. And, or no, they didn't offer. They just bought me a 2 cheeseburger meal because their daughter likes a 2 cheeseburger meal. And so they got me the 2 cheeseburger meal. And even if I don't like something, I'm not a rude person, okay? I'm going to try it. I'm going to eat it. I'm not going to be rude. If someone spent money on me or made me a meal, whether I asked for it or not, if I am their guest and I was in their car at their daughter's tournament, I'm a guest, I'm not going to not eat it. So I said, whatever. I'll suffer through it. I'll eat the damn cheeseburgers. Besides, I like the fries, so whatever. So I decided I'll eat the cheeseburgers first. I'll eat the fries second, because I'll end it with something I enjoy. Suffer through something I don't, right? I'm at this point I'm 16, right? So whatever, I could suffer. I took one bite of the cheeseburger, waiting to be disgusted. Instead, it was the greatest tasting thing I've ever eaten in my life in that moment. And I plowed those cheeseburgers. Plowed them. They were gone probably before they even had a chance to start the car back up. Because it was the greatest tasting thing I've ever tasted in my life. And ever since then, I've liked cheeseburgers. And now it's hard for me to eat burgers without... I mean, I can have a hamburger without cheese, but I prefer everything with cheese now. And suddenly, I started trying cheese on other types of food and found out I like it on chicken. I like it on other things too. But I didn't when I was younger. So I was curious about this. And so next time I went in to see the doctor for a physical, because I played sports, so I had to get a yearly physical, I had a really weird question for the doctor. Hey, doctor, why did I hate cheese on burgers and any sort of meat when I was like, ages, 5 to 10 or whatever? But then when I tried it again at 16, I loved it. I need a really, really simple explanation. Your taste buds change as you get older. Things you thought were gross as a kid, you might not think are gross when you're a teenager. And things you think are gross when you're a teenager, you might not think are gross when you're 25. And even things you think are gross when you're 25, because your taste buds kind of damper as you get really old, you might not think are gross when you're 50. Our taste buds change. It's natural. They evolve, they mature, and they change. And if that's happening without my knowledge, I don't know they're changing. It just happens. We don't control it. It just happens. Then our mental taste for video games and our enjoyment of them can change as well without our knowledge. And that's kind of the way I view it now. When there's people that play video games that just can't seem to enjoy what they used to enjoy, or can't enjoy the new things, or when they try other things or try indie games, they just can't seem to enjoy games the way they used to. Your tastes have changed. Without you even knowing it, they've changed. And at that point, you got to find something to do that maybe you used to not enjoy, but maybe you enjoy it now. Maybe you hated being out on boats. Maybe now you love being out on boats. Maybe you hated playing sports. And maybe now there's a sport or two you enjoy that you didn't enjoy when you were younger. Maybe you hated working out. Now it turns out you love it. Maybe you hated board games, but now board games are fascinating to you. People change. And we have to be okay with that change. So again, I'm not saying that any of this applies to this particular person, J Biggs over there. I'm not saying any of this applies to you. But I'm just saying that this applies to a lot of people where we get overly critical. We get overly this, overly that, when reality is all that's changed is us, not the games. Like, oh, I don't enjoy these single player games, but they're what you say you want. But no. I only like Mario. Okay. We'll go play some Mario games. No. They don't release enough of them. Okay, we'll go play Zelda. They don't release enough. Well, we get a Zelda game. It doesn't matter. We don't get enough Zelda. Okay, well, did you used to play other single player games? Oh yeah, probably, and I enjoy. Okay, well, at some point, we just have to accept that we've changed. Now, it doesn't mean that you've matured and outgrew video games. That's a common misconception. People say, like, oh, yeah, I've just matured and outgrew video. No. You've just changed. Doesn't mean you've matured and outgrown video games. It just means that you've changed and thus your interests change. It happens with us, we don't talk about this very often, sexually as well. You might have once been into women. Now you might be into men. Then someday you might be into both. Things happen. We change. Our desires change. The things we enjoy change whether we know it or not, and then we find new things that we enjoy doing. For me, I've been mostly the same since my teenage years in terms of what I enjoy doing. But some other things have been added to my life that I didn't know that I would enjoy, or I didn't even enjoy at the time. But I enjoy now. So. Only thing I wish for more single player games for people who may not have great Wi-Fi. But there are tons of single player games. I just went over a huge list of them this year only. There's a bunch of single player games. It begins in 3 minutes. Doesn't it begin now? We'd already be watching it. Here, you don't believe me? It's right here. See? Hasn't begun yet. Soon. Although I do need to bring the stream up on my stream up on the phone. Why am I being texted? What's going on? All right, I gotta load up. Sorry, it was about school supplies. All right, I gotta load this up here. I gotta load up my stream so I can watch the chat. Turn the volume off. Yeah, because I won't be able to watch the chat properly. All right. Let's get this over to here. We got the dancing splat up. Is there no music though? Hold on. Let's get that quality up a little bit. Is there seriously no music? Is there a dancing splat with no music? Is that what's happening right now? Do we have no music but a dancing splat? What are you dancing to? What are you dancing to? Hold on, that can't be real. Is there really no... Hold on, I gotta find out if that's my stream or not. Is that my stream? Or is there really no... Hold on. No, wow. There's no music. I just checked it on my phone. There's no music. That's funny. So we have a dancing Splatoon character with no music. All right, Nintendo. Sure. I like to jam out too without music. It's just something I do all the time. I just randomly break out in dancing. There's no song in my head or anything. Nah. See, that's what this character is doing. This character is dancing to music in their head. That's what it is. That's why we can't hear it. It's music in the head dancing. It's funny. Well, we're about to begin here. Any moment now. Come on. Come on. They want you to sing.
I pay my dues. Time after time. Oh, wait. They're jamming out way too much for that song. Wait a second. That's too much.
Well, seriously, what are they jamming out to? And seriously, is Mike Odyssey reacting to me reacting to... Is he actually doing that? Please tell me he's not actually doing it. Okay, he's not. Okay, he stopped. Or he's not doing it. Thank God. Oh, here we go. Is there seriously no sound, Nintendo? Oh, thank God. We got sound. We're good. We got sound. Let's go.
This is Splatsville, in the heart of the Splatlands. Despite its old-fashioned appearance, it's seen enormous growth in recent years. It's also the hottest new place for inklings looking for things to do. Oh, hello everyone. Hope you're all staying fresh. I almost forgot about introductions. We're the researchers from the Squid Research Lab. We're simply fascinated by what these inklings can do. They can splat ink in kit form and smoothly swim through it in swim form. We've been studying their biology day and night. Today, we'd like to share some new findings on these inklings while providing summaries throughout. Of course, what goes for the inklings also applies to the octolings. We're sure of it. First, turf war. Get styling with some fresh fashion and get inking with even fresher weapons. Naturally, in a place called Splatsville, turf war battles are the locals' favorite pastime. 2 teams of 4 will ink for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The team that inks the most in their color, in other words, claims the most turf, wins. Now, that's not all inking is for. Ink walls to swim up.
We're going over the basics.
Or get sneaky and hide in ink to splat opponents. The more ink you spread, the bigger the advantage you'll have in battles. Whoops. If you're out of ink, submerge in it to refill.
Okay.
New techniques like the squid surge to swim up walls in a single burst.
Ooh, squid surge.
And the squid roll to jump out of ink while simultaneously turning around have also been spotted.
Nice. So new movement techniques. Okay.
Oh, while it's glowing like this, the move also slightly repels ink from opponents.
What? Sick. So there's a little bit of defense with that.
These turf war battles
Nice.
will take place. Stages confirmed for the Splatlands include Scorch Gorge,
Scorch Gorge.
Eel Tail Alley, Mincemeat Metalworks, and Undertow Spillway.
It's 4 stages.
There seem to be other stages as well. Hagglefish Market, a pier filled to the brim with street vendors. The
Nice.
stuff here looks fishy, though. Several stages from Greater Inkopolis also return. Museum D'Alfonsino. Battles here take place in the central courtyard of this modern museum. Take special note of the rotating wall. Hammerhead Bridge. This bridge connects Greater Inkopolis to the Splatlands. After lots of construction work, it's finally open.
Nice.
Thanks to the bridge, transit to and from Greater Inkopolis is much easier. Mahi Mahi Resort. A luxury resort in Greater Inkopolis. Pay close attention to the platforms that sink as the battle goes on.
Nice.
There will be more areas to ink afterward, so don't forget to splat them. Including the stages you see here, a total of 12 await.
Nice. 12 stages at launch.
More stages will be added in free
There we go.
post-launch
Dude,
updates.
some of those stages look sick. Dude, some of those new
let's
stages
get
look
into the
great.
inky essence of battles. Weapons.
Weapons!
First, it appears that all the basic weapons from previous games will be available.
All old weapons available, okay?
On top of that, Splatland-specific weapon types, such as the bow-like stringers, will make their destructive debut.
Stringers, a new weapon type.
We've also verified a new weapon type called Splatanas.
Splatanas, like katanas with
This
splatanas.
is the Splatana Wiper.
So we got
Blades of
2 new
ink
classes
fly
of
with
weapons.
Centrifugal force generated by swinging.
2 new classes of weapons.
Swing after charging up a bit,
All
and
old
it'll
weapons,
transform
2
into
new
a
classes of
charged
weapons.
Slash. As expected, it's powerful as a long-range attack. But the charged slash at close range is also quite devastating.
Nice.
Let's dive into the weapons that
Look
can
at the
help you
water.
claim even more turf. Special weapons. As the name implies, these are special kinds of weapons that can be unleashed after filling up the gauge from inking turf. There are some new types we've identified, so let's take a closer look. This is the Tacticooler. When it's activated, a fridge appears. You'll find in-game beverages stored inside. These have a variety of effects, like momentarily increasing speed. They come in packs of 4, so take one and share the rest with your teammates.
Nice.
This is the Wave Breaker. When activated, it'll unleash waves around the area. It'll also mark an opponent's location and cause damage.
Damage?
Try to avoid them with a well-timed jump. Finally, the Reef Slider. Build up power, then charge into opponents who need a good splat. Once the attack ends, it'll explode and damage the surrounding area. Familiar special weapons like the Tenta missiles, Inkjet, Ink Storm, Ultra Stamp, and Booyah Bomb will also make their grand return.
Cool.
Special weapons are paired with main weapons, so find the combo that suits your splatting style.
Yeah. Crab tank. Let's do it. Looks good.
Shop here to get your tentacles on some fresh weapons. This is Ammonites, owned by the chatty horseshoe crab, Sheldon. The locals have praised him for his wealth of weapon wisdom and sophisticated selection. Instead of using in-game currency for purchases, you'll need these Sheldon licenses.
Sheldon license.
Obtain them by leveling up through battles and by consistently using the same weapons. One Sheldon license can be exchanged for one weapon that corresponds to your level.
Okay.
Oh, and just between us, if you exchange more Sheldon licenses than normal, it appears he'll give you a weapon you like sooner than expected as a special reward.
Sweet. Hell yeah. That's cool.
By the way, the Inklings and Octolings walking around town are pretty savvy about their fashion. Things like headgear, clothing, and shoes are just as important as weapons to staying fresh in Splatsville. Gear can be obtained in the shops around here. Each one is managed by an interesting shopkeeper, so let's drop in. This
Yeah,
is
man.
Not Couture, a headgear shop.
Let's go, buddy.
You'll find an array of hats, masks, and glasses so you can get ahead of the game. The laid-back Nautilus, Gnarly Eddie, and the energetic Nails, the snail sitting here, run the shop.
Love the glasses, nails.
This is the clothes boutique, Mana Wardrobe. It specializes in tops, like t-shirts and jackets. The shopkeeper, Gel Lafleur, might be a touch
Gel
archaic with
Lafleur.
words, but this jellyfish has a keen eye for
I like that
fashion
name.
sense. And finally,
great.
the shoe store Crush Station. Get a variety of cool kicks here.
The
from
muscle
sneakers to
character is a
sandals,
shoe
and
salesman.
even leather footwear. It's owned by Mr. Coco. He might look intimidating, but deep down, he's a nice guy. Probably. You're more than welcome to pick out gear based on its appearance, but they do come with abilities that can help you out in battle.
Yeah. Abilities.
Take run speed up, for example. It can increase your running speed. Or intensify action. This improves the squid roll and squid surge moves. There are even more abilities to discover. Plus, there's a fellow in Splatsville who can swap one ability with another.
Nice. Looks like he's like Shady
Talk to Merch
character.
here, and you can add an ability of your choosing to your favorite gear.
Nice.
And if you save your favorite gear combinations as fresh as fits, you can change in a flash.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Flavor up your fashion with whatever
Okay,
outfits
so you can
want. Simply
save gear
Splat
combos now. I like that. I like that. You can save gear combos.
Welcome to the lobby, a gathering spot for those seeking fresh battles. Turf war battles aren't the only things that happen here. You can also square
New
off
UI.
in anarchy battles, where you compete for rankings. Hold the active zones in splat zones. Ride the tower to the goal in tower control. Carry the Rainmaker to its destination
Yeah.
in Rainmaker.
These are the old modes.
Or collect and
Yeah.
throw clams to
Clam
score
Blitz.
in Clam Blitz. Duke it out in these 4 modes, which are on rotation. Want to take on a challenge solo? Select Anarchy Battle Series. But if you want to team up with friends, joining Anarchy Battle Open is the way to go.
Okay.
You can also play private battles online. Set battle modes and other options to your liking. Why not play with your favorite battle modes alongside friends?
Okay.
Information about these game modes will be available soon on the game's official website.
All right.
Now, let's talk about the features within the lobby. This is the test range. Try out and get comfy with your weapons
This is
here.
in the lobby?
Besides being able to practice whenever you want, it's also a great place to get all warmed
Oh,
up.
yeah, it
while
is. This is
waiting
in the
for
matchmaking
rivals
lobby.
To join a battle.
That's in the matchmaking
Next
lobby.
up,
That's cool.
Ghosts. Online friends will appear as 3D holograms.
Huh.
Drop in on friends in the midst of battle and play alongside them.
Nice.
You can also join up
Okay.
and start a battle on the same team.
That is cool. You could do
You'll
that
be
right
able
from
to
the
see
lobby.
What your friends are up to.
That's cool.
It appears that you can also call out to friends in the lobby and invite them for battles. Why not see these features for yourself?
Okay, that's pretty cool.
This is where you can view battle replays. It appears that it can somewhat recreate recent battles.
What? Automatic replay capture?
Fast forward. Or skip to a certain part. Or even swap to another player's view.
Automatic
Incredible!
replays. What?
Not only can you rewatch battles as many times as you'd like, but there's even a share feature. We hope you'll use this handy tool to help you rank up.
Where do you upload it to? Okay, that's cool.
Next,
Automatic replays?
We'll analyze and discuss
That's
this
sick.
space within the lobby, the locker room. Here, you'll find some fresh lockers. One is yours, and the others belong to players with whom you've recently played.
What?
As you
We
can
get to
see,
decorate
you'll be able
lockers
to
now?
place any acquired weapons, gear, and items to your liking. Slap on some snazzy stickers, and modify your locker's color.
Yeah, it's not a
This is
30-second
your
screen
space
capture.
to
It's like the
express
entire
yourself.
match.
So customize
Cool.
it however you'd like to show off your signature splatting style.
Nice. Okay.
Yes, items can be obtained at Hotlantis, a general store on the edge of Splatsville. Apparently, the store manager vanishes quite often, so instead, it's run by an artist named Harmony. She used to be a regular customer here. It's got an outlandish assortment of items. Why not show the store some
Nice.
love by grabbing some goods?
Nice.
There
This
appear
is
to be plenty of other
A
customization
lot of
features as well.
new stuff.
When battles start, these splash tags appear.
Yeah, they told us about splash
They can
tags
be
before.
customized with a banner, badge, and title.
Fresh muscle.
Additionally, you can change the emote your character performs when you win a battle.
Heck yeah!
All of these can be obtained via the in-game catalog, which will be available at Hotlantis.
Nice.
By using points earned from battles, you can unlock various items, like stuff for splash tags and seasonal gear.
I don't want to hear that we didn't need this, that this could have just been DLC.
Released every 3 months.
I never want to hear that about this game again.
Snatch up everything you see in each catalog.
I never want to hear that this should have been DLC. This is so much new.
Phew.
Like fundamentally
There's still
changing
a lot
the
of info
game.
to share, but I need to take a little breather here.
Hey,
In the meantime, please turn your attention toward this.
towards this. What, trailer?
Introducing Table Turf Battle!
Do they have a card game?
For a dazzling deck duel! Ink different shapes with different cards. Charge up power, then unleash it all at once with a special attack. There are cards like this, and even ones like this, and there are over 150 cards to collect in-game. So build your deck and send your rivals packing.
They added a
The
1v1
Splatoon
card
locals
game.
eagerly await your challenge. Table Turf Battle.
Table turf battle.
Every player will be gifted an in-game starter deck.
Let me guess, this is microtransaction city? This is where you gotta spend
I
money?
lost my clampoosier for a second there.
This feels like something you would have to spend money on, but this is
Table Turf
hilarious.
Battle, a 1v1 competitive
This is
card battle
hilarious.
spin-off of Turf War. It appears you can play this at the Table Turf Battle Dojo in Splatsville. Be on the lookout for more details about Table Turf
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Battle in the future.
Nice.
And now, this.
Next wave of salmon. Salmon. My bad. Sorry, guys. I've been
Salmon Run
mispronouncing
is a
that word
simple
most of my
job that
life.
requires 4 players to work together to collect power eggs from the salmonids advancing on them. This part-time gig is rumored to be a little fishy, but it pays pretty well. By defeating particularly ferocious creatures called boss salmonids, you can obtain valuable golden eggs.
Golden eggs.
You'll need to collect and deliver plenty of golden eggs in order to complete this job. This time around, we've confirmed some new types of boss salmonids, so
Yeah.
let's share our findings. First up, the Salmon Lid.
The slamming lid.
Creates barriers and protects salmonids on the ground. Get too close to it, and it'll attempt to crush you, so approach with caution. Next, the Big Shot. It fires heavy projectiles from a distance. Be prepared for powerful shockwaves when they land.
Yeah, right.
New boss salmonids confirmed. Make sure you're ready for an even more dangerous salmon run. This is one of the new king salmonids. Unbelievable! It looks like they'll occasionally appear just before you complete the job. The tank on your back is a specially provided egg cannon, and it appears that you can fire golden eggs to deal massive damage. However, these battles are under a time limit, so rack up as much damage as possible to drive them back.
Nice. Sorry, I was being captivated by that.
This is the still being researched Big Run.
Big
We
run.
believe this is when salmonids invade the city in which icklings and octolings live. It appears that this event happens once every few months, so brace yourselves!
What?
Big Run is coming!
Nice. Nice. Big run. A new mode. Nice.
Now, observe this manhole in Splatsville Square.
It's always a damn
This is
manhole.
actually the entrance to the home of the Octarians, the Inklings' longtime enemies. As Agent 3, the newest recruit of the new
Agent
Squid
3,
Geek
so we're back to
Splatoon,
Agent 3.
you'll do battle with the Octarian army, whose members are covered in hair for some reason. Along with your buddy Small Fry, you'll explore many stages, each one full of twists and turns. Oh, I almost forgot. Story mode is perfect for getting familiar with inking turf and using weapons, so newer players might want to try it out. Well, we've come this far. What awaits the Inklings and Octolings in the end? We hope you can witness the epic finale of this Splattastic saga.
Wait a second, finale?
We're back in Splatsville. From here on
Did
out,
they just say
we'd
finale?
like to talk about other features that'll help you enjoy your
Is this the
splatting
end of
escapades
Splatoon?
even more in the Splatoon 3 game. You can post illustrations here via this mailbox.
Is this the end of
They'll be
Splatoon?
displayed all across the city and even in
What?
stages. So put on your artist cap and post away. Vertical illustrations will also be supported. Additionally, you can grab food and drinks that'll help you in battles at the concession stand. Or use local communication to play with nearby folks in your favorite modes at the shoal. By using photo mode, you can snap selfies,
Photo mode.
send photos to a smart device, or display them in your locker.
I love how there's physics
This
in the
is
locker.
the
It's
Recon
great.
Guide. Select your favorite stages at any time and take a stroll around them.
What?
Why not get familiar with each stage
So
prior
you
to
can
battles?
explore stages before you play them. Okay. I like that.
This is Splatnet 3. You can use this with your smart device. It contains features like checking your latest battle stats
I do like the stat feature.
and ordering
but-
special in-game gear not sold in shops from the Splatnet Gear Shop. But that's not all. Access features like Krusty Sean's Wonder Crust. Support this fellow's journey using ink points earned depending on the areas you inked during battles. Or
Wonder Crust.
view history to take a trip down memory lane with your past ranks. You can also snag special wallpapers and more for your smart device. So be sure to grab them. It appears that Splatnet 3 will be available at launch via the Nintendo Switch Online mobile app. Next up, Amiibo figures. Scan Splatoon series Amiibo at this spot in
Splatoon
Splatsville,
3 looks
and
identical
voila!
to Splatoon
Saving
2,
your favorite
respectfully.
gear combinations
Wow.
as fresh as fits will allow you to easily swap outfits. Additionally, it seems you'll be able to get special gear and even snap photos together with Amiibo. And Splatoon 3 Amiibo incoming!
Yes! Dude, I need that fish
Release
amiibo.
is scheduled for this
Small
holiday.
fry. Dude, I need that small fry amiibo right now. Right now, I need small fry.
Now, let's talk about post-launch updates. As we mentioned a while ago, following the game's launch, a new in-game catalog will be released every 3 months for 2 years.
For 2 years. So 2 years of catalog support.
New weapons will also be added around the same time as each catalog.
Okay, so updates for 2 years.
In addition, X Battle, available after attaining an extremely high rank in Anarchy Battle, and League Battle, where every 2 hours you can compete in teams based on your Anarchy Battle results, are planned to be added in future updates.
Nice.
Furthermore, for this game, we're planning to add large-scale paid DLC. More details will come at a later time, so please be on the lookout. And now, I'd like to wrap up this research report from the Squid Research Lab. Thank you for watching.
That's it? I thought it said a half hour. Don't we still have 6 minutes? Oh, okay. I was like, there's gotta be more.
Who are you supposed to be?
What the? We're not supposed to be anything. But I'll tell you who we are. Say it with sizzle. I'm Fry. Shiver. Fry and Shiver. What the? Big Man. Fry, Shiver, and Big Man in the house. Premiere Deep Cut.
Oh, Squid. I completely forgot to tell you about Deep Cut. They're an incredibly popular trio who host the Splatsville news program, Anarchy Splatcast.
So there's our new host.
They provide information on battle stages, as well as other news bulletins. While we're on the subject, the youngsters of Splatsville own sea cucumber phones. They can check the news while doing other activities, as shown here. And...
Dance party mode? Concerts. Okay. I'll say what it is. Yeah, Splatfest, obviously. They do this for Splatfest. I always love people like Big Get in the chat. Literally never has anything positive to say. It's always negative. It's okay to not like a game.
It's been confirmed that Splatfest will make a return. In these events, you pick a team based on the announced theme, then settle the outcome via battle. And this time around, there will be 3 teams to choose from.
3.
Splatfest consists of 2 halves. In the first half, teams will compete in 4v4 turf war battles. The second half is a tricolor turf war. It's a special mode where, whoa, 3 teams fight at the same time.
What?
All players on the team currently in first place will start in the center of the stage. 2 players each from the second and third place teams will attack the first place team from opposite ends of the stage. Can the leading team defend themselves? Or will the other 2 teams exact revenge and force them out?
What?
Use the Ultra Signal to control the battle and contribute
Hell
to the
yeah, dude,
Splatfest
this is
while
sick.
working alongside the members of Deep Cut.
Okay. Wow. So they even made a massive change to Splatfest too.
Okay, we're
Hot
gonna
damn.
close out this presentation with an announcement from Deep Cut. Take it away.
Now that is a very interesting change to Splatfest. I like that. When did you get here, Baguette? They have added a ton to this game. Splatfest world premiere on 8/27. Full 12 hours too. Nice. Nice. We'll have to check that out if I'm around on that day. Obviously I can't, it's a weekend. But if I'm around on that day, we'll have to check it out. Rock, paper, scissors? Okay. I broke up. The 3-person banter is going to be interesting in this game. I'm still in the whole
That's all we have to
don't
share
get cooked,
today.
stay off the hook line.
Or
Still
not.
stuck in my head.
And now announcing the Splatoon 3 Enter the Splatlands Invitational 2022 tournament. This event will take place on September 5th at PAX West.
Nice.
Some of the top finishers from this summer's Splatoon 2 Inkopolis Showdown will head to Seattle and compete in North America's first ever Splatoon 3 Invitational. Follow the official Nintendo Versus Twitter account for updates. And to see more of our research findings as we uncover them, follow the official Splatoon North American Twitter account. We hope you'll have an incredible time starting September 9th. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye! All right. All right. All right. So, let me get the chat up so I can actually read it. Thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts? Yeah, they didn't talk about the Switch OLED. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't give us like a because like in North America here we still I don't think we still have official pre-order for it. So my thoughts right now, my initial reaction is they added they added a lot. I mentioned it early in the stream that I don't want to hear people complain that this should have been DLC anymore. Of course, then conveniently someone went on to complain that it should have been DLC. Do you see how much content is in this game? The new stuff they've added, the changes they've made. This isn't just a DLC type of change. They fundamentally added a ton of crap. The lobbies alone and how the lobby system works is such a core change to playing with friends. Like, that lobby system is so much better than the way that, I mean, they left the traditional way in. You can still do the traditional invite people in. But when you're playing by yourself and you get in the lobby and you see your friends are playing Splatoon and they have like this whole lobby system where not only can you practice fighting, you can actually go in and chit chat with your buddies and like set up matches and join their matches and have them join you. And it's all virtualized within the game. You don't have to leave and back out and get into a different mode and invite people in. You can just do it all organically from the matchmaking system. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Now, obviously, they added that card game in. It'd be interesting to see how fun that card game that card game's going to be. Obviously, it's just a fun little single player. Well, not a single player, but 1v1 distraction, but it should be fun. You know, all the changes they did to Salmon Run. The fact they added a brand new once every like what is it? They say once in a while, once every month, once every few months, where they attack the main town and people have to work together to defend the main town. That to me is cool. So they'll be attacking Splatsville, and then you get to defend Splatsville. That's a really, really cool new addition as well. Obviously, the 2 new weapon classes, the new movement abilities as well, the new dodge abilities. We've already seen the abilities where you can like Spider-Man yourself a little bit across the map. I think that's 3 brand new ways to move in the game, along with 2 brand new weapon classes, entirely brand new, and fundamentally they brought in all of the old weapons. Every old weapon from Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 are in this game. So this game has all the weapons, plus 12 stages. And man, how many of those stages were brand new? Like 9? Wasn't it like 8 or 9 brand new stages? That's awesome. Now, The only thing I could say might be a smidge disappointing is, at least at the moment, they haven't added a new basic multiplayer mode. So it's still Rainmaker, Clan Blitz, Turf War, and a Splat Zone. So those 4 ones they didn't add a 5th. I was hoping they would add a 5th. I was hoping, because you keep thinking, well, what else could they add? What other modes? Well, there's a lot of ideas you could have. One basic one would be like capture the flag, like a capture the flag kind of mode. Oh, it's the tower. They have the tower one as well. So that's 5. But a capture the flag kind of mode would have been kind of neat. Something like that. But yeah. Grub was completely right about Nintendo Summer. First off, thank you, Taker610. Completely right in what way? I haven't been watching a lot of Jeff Grubb's stuff this summer. I've just been too busy. But what did Jeff Grubb, Taker610, refresh me on what Taker refresh me a little bit. Yeah, capture the flag mode would have been cool. By the way, this doesn't mean they won't add it. Like, if I remember, Clan Blitz wasn't there at launch, and that was added later. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Clan Blitz was added later as a free update. So there could be a new mode that's going to get added later as a free update in terms of that type of gameplay. They massively expanded the way playing with friends works and the lobby system. They added the whole locker system, which, I mean, the locker thing is just an aesthetic thing, but it's still pretty neat. Let's see here. Gun game would be so good. I see them adding it post-launch because new guns will release. What's gun game? Let's see here. He said at the beginning of the summer that he heard Nintendo will be breaking up summer announcements instead of a general summer direct. I mean, that's not surprising, Taker610, because it's also a sort of an easy prediction to make a little bit. Because E3 was canceled early, right? E3 was canceled early this year, and Nintendo has never done a direct without an E3. I mean, that's just facts. You can make up whatever excuses you want, but the fact is, no E3 in 2020, no general direct. No E3 in 2022, no general direct. A really crappy E3 in 2021, we got a general direct. So yeah, it's sort of, you could argue is a little bit predictable, but Jeff Grubb he's a video game journalist with actual sources, and his track record of correct things from his sources is pretty good. Yes, some things don't happen, some things change, but he's got a pretty good record. So yeah, I mean, it's been obvious for a while Jeff Grubb has some sort of contact at Nintendo, probably at someone at Nintendo Treehouse, if I had to guess, because Treehouse interact with media more than anyone else. So, one of my kids are about to come in here. Hold on for a second. Sorry. My kids are all excited because we're going swimming. We're going swimming. What even is the temperature outside? Might be a bit of a chilly swim. Well, it's a heated pool, but still might be a bit of a chilly swim. Let me check the weather here. Refresh the weather. It gets warmer throughout the day, but see, it's almost 70. That's not too bad. Let me check the weather again here. Weather. Isn't there a weather app on here? Is there no weather app on my phone? What the heck? Oh, there is. What's it called? It's not called weather. No, it's gonna get up to the 80s, so yeah, it'll be fine. It'll quickly heat up. So it'll be 80 by noon. So all right, yeah, we'll be fine. Anyway, sorry. I'm not making a video this morning, guys. This is my morning video. Remember the Nintendo Prime podcast, by the way. That's going to be happening tonight on the Nintendo Prime podcast channel, and we're going to be talking about Splatoon 3, obviously, with Eric and Mike Odyssey. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys decide to tune in there. Customizable weapons would be cool. Yes, customizable weapons. It is interesting that we haven't gotten to the point in Splatoon where we could customize like the colors of the weapons and stuff. That would be a really cool addition. Maybe that's something they'll wait, because one thing they noted is that this is the final game. This is the finale. Now, this doesn't mean that there's never going to be a Splatoon game again. But it means whatever, the story trilogy, maybe even the style of gameplay. Like if people are looking for fundamentally different modes, maybe that's why we don't have different modes, because they're saving that for the next trilogy of Splatoon games. So like they're going to reboot the series essentially with a new trilogy of games. And in there is where you're going to see some of those mega ideas that some people want that maybe they're holding back on, because they know, hey, Splatoon's going to be an ongoing IP. So let's crush it with this stuff. And then let's do a massive expansion of concepts and what Splatoon is with the next trilogy of games. So that's one thing to consider as well, that maybe we still have those five modes instead of them adding 5 new modes on top, because they want to save that kind of stuff for the new trilogy. They want to kick off that new trilogy with a bang and give us a lot more fundamental changes. But I will say they gave us a lot. I have nothing to complain about here with Splatoon 3 right now. It looks amazing. Dude, that changed the turf war, not just to give us 3 things to vote on, but then sure, half of it's your team versus team, but then you have 3 teams going at it in the second half of Splatfest. That to me is amazing. They didn't say no story. They specifically mentioned story mode. Story mode was brought up. There's a story mode. There's a campaign. They brought it up. It's there. And they're like, for some reason, the Octolines have hair on them. I wonder if there's a story element behind why the hell they have hair on them now, when they didn't have hair before. Gun game is a mode in most shooters that every time you get a kill, your weapon changes, usually going from strongest weapon to weakest. The winner being whoever gets through all weapons. I find that interesting because I've never viewed Splatoon as having strong and weak weapons. Bama! Oh man, I haven't seen you in a while, Bama. But bam, let's do it again. Bama, how you doing, bud? I haven't seen you. Haven't been in a stream in like, God, what's it been, 2 weeks? Welcome, man. Yeah, our membership count was going down. We were about to dip below 200. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. So let me see. We got Fire Soul, the Basement Man, K-Dog, K's Cagino, Matthew McDonald, Destiny Swap, Brandon White, JP, Christopher Colazzo, and Jose. Yeah, this count up here is not accurate, but yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support, man. Yeah, you've been super busy. Yeah, dude, that's all right. Dude, life gets busy sometimes. But yeah, I think it's been a couple weeks. But welcome back, Bama. At least you swung by before you went to bed. Hopefully you get a chance to watch the Splatoon 3 stuff later. Very interested in what your thoughts would be on that. You always know when Bama's here because he announces his entrance with a bang. He always does. Yeah, they didn't want to give away a lot of the story stuff and story. Like they mentioned it's there. That's the thing, because it's story mode. Nintendo is very careful with spoiling with spoilers for the story in a lot of their games, especially ones that aren't 100+ hours, like Xenoblade. Like Xenoblade, they'll give you a bunch of story details because no matter how many they give you, there's so much more. But with this game, it exists. Here's a couple things. Hey, play it for yourself. So there's that. Anyways, what I was trying to say about gun mode and trying to add a potential gun mode is I'm not so sure there is such a thing as strong and weak weapons in Splatoon. Just a personal opinion. If you're really damn good at Splatoon, all the weapons are pretty good. It's more like a preference, right? Like a preference of a gameplay preference. More so than I feel like strong and weak. But good night, Bama. You gotta go to bed. More work tomorrow. Later, dude. Good night, dude. Let's see. I'm glad. I think game companies and movie companies always put out way too many trailers and clips, like they show too much. Sometimes, yeah. A lot of times, they're doing this because they're trying to stand out from the crowd, right? They want to stay at the forefront thought of people's minds. Like Pokemon is an example. We got a trailer back in June, and then they gave us another trailer this month, and then it might be now a month. But then we'll get another one in, it's like, say it's not September, but we'll get one in October, which would make sense. We're getting close to launch. We might even get an October dedicated event for Pokemon. But the point is, companies share a lot because they're trying to stay at the forefront of people's thoughts. And you can't do that without sharing more and more and more and more. Like, this isn't the last we're going to hear about Splatoon before launch. One, for those who don't know, the official Splatoon Twitter account does updates. What is it? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They do updates. So we're going to be getting updates about this game all the way up to launch anyways. But damn, was this good. I loved this direct. This is what I wanted. The only thing I can say is, oh, we only had those 5 modes. It'd be cool if we had the other one. Dude, they added so much, so many things I didn't expect. That whole once in a while, the Octolings attack Splatsville, and that's like a new mode in the game. Did not expect that. Changing Splatfest to 3 things you can vote on, and then fundamentally making it so there's 3 teams splatting it out at one point. That's a massive fundamental change. Oh, by the way, hey, we added lobbies and added intuitive, thought-provoking. Don't need to leave your matchmaking to play with friends and see what your friends are doing. Oh, and by the way, your gameplays, the replays are just always there. You don't have to tell it to save it. You don't have to hit the capture button and save 30 seconds. No, we just have full-on replays. And by the way, the replays aren't just from your perspective. They're from everyone's perspective. You could switch to any character you want during the match. Let's say you sucked, but somebody carried you. You can go watch that person carry you. You can learn. Obviously, they added lockers. They added the card game thing, which I find to be really, really interesting. I think that card game is going to end up being a lot more fun. It's either going to be a cute gimmick that gets boring after a day, or it's going to be a highly addicting thing that some people play Splatoon 3 just to play the card game. I don't know how many decks there's going to be and how you could build out your decks and, you know, how you get card packs. They never really fully went into how you get new card packs. It'll be interesting to see how all that works. I'm a little worried it might become microtransaction city. It's kind of it's a card game. Kind of a ripe idea for microtransactions, but we'll see. The developers 5 minutes before this presentation were like, "You guys ain't even ready." Is that what it said on the Twitter account? Obviously, I wasn't looking at the Twitter account before it happened. Rainmaker is better than standard gun, better than curling bomb, for example. But then with more tiers, so like 3 levels of tiers, OP special items like the Rainmaker, Inkjet, normal primary guns, Ink Rush, secondary bombs. So, I mean, yeah. I'm not surprised that at top level play, there's obviously a greater difference between weapons. But anyways. All right, my kids are starting to fight, so I gotta go be a dad. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, though. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys really enjoyed that direct. I had a great time, and I can't wait. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to play the Splatfest live for you guys, or the Splatfest, the whatever. You guys know, on the 27th, they got their little test fire. So hopefully, I get a chance to play it live with you guys. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you today on the Nintendo Prime Podcast.